Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and beautiful today update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Eric has a shocking response to learning he lost the fashion show. And what happens coming is ruinous. Friday, December 8, 2023 moment on the bold and the beautiful Lee urges Finn to go to the party, and everyone continues to keep Eric in the dark that they know he is sick. Ellie finds Finn at work still and thinks she should be at Eric's party. She knows he respects Steffi's forefather, and he's blessed to have a loving family. She's envious as Eric has so important to live for. At the Forrester manse, everyone is concerned about Eric, but he insists he's each right. He's happy to be girdled by his family and for this party, which is significant to him. Steffi tells her forefather that tonight is look back on. She says this night is about celebrating him, their family leader, as she begins to tear up, as Eric addresses with Brooke, Bridget, and Thorne. Thomas, Steffi, Hope, and Ridge bandy continuing to let Eric suppose they do know he's dying. Ridge says it's the least they can do for him. Especially tonight, Eric thanks Thorne and Bridget for coming, and he wants them to flashback how important he loves him when they return home. Eric just wishes they had further time together. Thorne agrees. Eric Thorne and Bridget Carter takes a moment to speak with Eric and tells him how important he changed his life. He tells Eric he's like a surrogate father, and Eric calls him family. Katie and Donna check on Eric, and he says this party is a little more emotional further than the three of them know the verity. He begins to cough and wants to keep the verity from the family as long as he can. Donna offers to get him water, but he wants champagne. She suppositions he deserves a little. As Donna goes to get Eric a bit of champagne, she overhears Brooke, Ridge, Thomas, and Hope agitating the fact that Eric didn't win. Donna is stupefied and says Eric can no way find out the verity. Ridge wants Eric to go out on top, but Donna says this will kill Eric if he finds out, and in his condition, who knows what he could do. Eric exchanges with RJ, Luna, and Zen and calls them the future of Forrester. So Eric praises RJ for growing up into a responsible, youthful man, and he's always impressed with Zen's gift and is proud of him. Eric, with Donna by his side, tells Hope and Thomas that he's happy there then. He sees good effects in Thomas' future and tells him not to take anything for granted. He calls Hope lovely and smart, an awful memorial they should know name she's learned to no way give up. Eric, Thomas, Hope, Donna B. Eric also exchanges with Steffi and calls her the jewel of the family. Steffi tells him that he'll always live through her, and she'll always feel his presence. She embraces him and says she loves him so much. Brooke interrupts to get her own clinch from Eric, and she says he's always been her champion and always the first to bet for her. Eric says she and Ridge will lead this family and company into the future. Eric's everyone before they go their separate ways for a moment. He wants to admit his angel Donna and his son Ridge, who he's contended with over the times. He calls him not a bad developer, but not the stylish as he won against him. He says winning meant so much to him. Everyone falls silent, and Eric says, "I did win right. You told me I won." He realizes Ridge prevaricated to him about winning the fashion show. Why lie about commodities so important to him? Eric looks around at everyone who has gashes in their eyes and seems to realize they all know the verity about him. Eric tells Ridge this is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for him. He thanks Ridge, and they embrace. Suddenly, he collapses. Eric says it's okay. It's his time, and he's at peace, and to be kind to each other. Eric lays on the bottom and closes his eyes as his family surrounds him. Eric collapses after learning he didn't win the fashion challenge. After some time had passed, Lee returned to Finn's office and was surprised to see that he still hadn't left for Eric's party. Lee wondered if Eric knew how blessed Eric was to have such a loving family. "I am envious. Eric is so important to Forrester man's." The temperature of the room cooled down as Eric's loved bones came decreasingly scarified by his health. Ridge and Thorne tried to move Eric to sit down for a while, but Eric rejected their sweats. "Why would I want to sit? Look at this beautiful family girding me," he remarked. Eric told everyone that they could not conceivably understand what it meant to him to have them each there. "I suppose we do," Steffi replied. Steffi stepped toward her forefather and said that the evening would be one that they'd always look back. Steffi's countenance cracked as she was no longer suitable to hold back her gashes. "You are always going to be our leader, then at your home and at Forrester. So tonight we celebrate you," she continued. Latterly, in a corner of the room, Thomas admitted to Steffi that they all knew that he was dying. Steffi shook her head, feverishly from side to side and swore that she would no way do that. Still, Steffi wondered if Eric might have caught on that she knew the verity. Hope, Brooke, and Ridge took turns, assuring her that Eric did not suspect a thing. On the other side of the room, Eric thanked Bridget and Thorne for showing up for the party. Thorne told his patter that he'd not have missed it and encouraged Eric to throw family gatherings more frequently. That's Thorne, and Bridget stepped down. Carter walked over to Eric to thank Eric for having always made him feel welcome. "You are family?" Eric replied. "You are further than a master. You are further than a friend. You are like a surrogate father to me," Carter said vocally. Eric stated that if it were over to him, they would not be surrogates. Eric reached out and told Katie and Donna that the party was a little further emotional than he would anticipated it to be. Eric joked that it was nearly as if everyone knew that he was dying. Katie asked Eric how long he planned to keep effects a secret from his family. "As long as I can," he responded. Eric took time to praise her J&Z's Jinzen's gift and touted them as the future of Forrester Creations. Eric lauded Zande for prostrating adversity to come one of the most talented controversies he would ask. Donna went to get Eric a drink. She eavesdropped Ridge, Brooke, Thomas, and Hope agitating how Eric hadn't won the fashion challenge. Donna came frantic and made them promise that Eric would no way find out that he hadn't won. Eric tried to explain that what Ridge had done had been a gesture of love. Donna didn't feel to agree. Eric told Thomas that he saw a great numerous good effects in Thomas's future and prompted Thomas not to take any of those effects for granted. Eric told Hope that she was so lovely and so smart, an awful memorial that one must no way lose stop in life, however. It's to no way ever give up. Indeed, in the darkest of times, if there's commodity I've learned from having this name. Steffi walked over to her forefather to partake a moment with him. Eric called her ritual of the Forrester family, commodity he knew that Stephanie had felt about Steffi as well. "I may have inherited her name and some traits, good and bad, but the effects I have learned from you, the alleviation you have given me, you are always going to live through me," Steffi told her granddad. As Steffi embraced Eric walked over and asked if she could get in on the clinch. Eric was happy to oblige. Brooke told Eric that he'd always been her champion. Eric plotted to hold back gashes as he told Brooke that she and Ridge were going to be the bones to lead the company in the center of the room. To admit the angel that had been by his side and on his shoulder, Donna told him that she loved him. Eric also turned to concentrate attention on Ridge. He conceded that they had locked cornucopias over the times, but that their love for one another had always come out on top. Eric also fooled that Ridge was not a bad developer. In fact, he was a good developer, but not the stylish. Eric confessed that winning the showdown might have been more important to him than it should have been. Looking at the expression on Ridge's face, Eric questioned if he had, in fact. Ridge said nothing. Eric looked frenetically around the room before asking if Ridge had prevaricated him. Eric's voice traced off as he looked around the room and saw nearly everyone gaping back at him with gashes in their eyes. Eric cleared his throat and directed his attention on Ridge. "That is about the nicest thing anybody's ever done for," Eric said as he smiled. Eric and Ridge participated a laugh. Eric started to cough. Within the blink of an eye, he collapsed to the bottom. The partygoers heaved and contended to Eric's side. As Eric lay on the ground, he looked up and said, "It's okay, it's my time. I am at peace with it. Be kind to each other."